Kung Fu Panda explores self-determination and acceptance, but beneath all of that lies a deeper theme: obsession. The most obvious use of obsession in the movie is through Tai Lung. Since he was young, he was trained for one specific reason: to be the Dragon Warrior. Shifu planted the idea that he would become the Dragon Warrior, so he was determined to become it. He wanted to make Shifu proud. It wasn't about the status, or even the power that came with being the Dragon Warrior. It was ultimately about making his father figure proud, so he became obsessed with it, becoming stronger and more powerful every day. But Oogway saw something in him, something dark and twisted. His whole life was built on a lie, and this resulted in him snapping. What began as a desire to make Shifu proud slowly turned into entitlement. Tai Lung became so consumed by the identity he built that he believed being the Dragon Warrior wasn't earned, but that it was owed to him. Tigress is similar to Tai Lung in the way that she wants Shifu's approval, but unlike Tai Lung, she didn't believe that she was the Dragon Warrior, so her path was different. Her origins are similar to Tai Lung's. They're both orphans trained by Shifu, but due to Tai Lung's obsession and the destruction he caused, Shifu chose a different approach. He was loving and nurturing towards Tai Lung, so he thought that the distant and harsh approach would work better with Tigress. Although she didn't end up causing destruction, she ended up desperately wanting approval. The same thing Tai Lung wanted. It does differ though. She wanted love, but Tai Lung wanted the approval and believed he deserved it. Kung Fu Panda is a very personal movie to me. I know exactly what it feels like to love something purely and then slowly let the validation become the point. I went to college, worked harder than I ever had, and the better that I got, the more people noticed. Lecturers, classmates, even my parents. And it felt incredible, but eventually the thing that I loved, it became secondary to the feeling of being seen for it. I tied my whole personality to being the person who knew things, who others would come to for answers. And the person that I had to maintain, it wasn't really me. I burnt out completely. The obsession stopped being the thing that I loved, and it became about the validation it brought. That's Tai Lung. That's Tigress. That's almost every character in the film. And if you're honest with yourself, it might be you too. Although Shifu was a great mentor, he is heavily flawed. He was obsessed with the idea of the perfect Dragon Warrior. When Po is chosen, he is disgusted. Po has no formal training, and he's unlike anyone Shifu envisioned. He tries to make Po leave by belittling him and giving him tasks that he knows he'll never achieve. He constantly questions Oogway, because Po being the Dragon Warrior, it's simply too hard for him to accept. But here's what makes Shifu so interesting as a character. He's not actually a bad person. He genuinely believes that he's doing the right thing. His obsession with the perfect Dragon Warrior comes from a place of wanting to protect something that he deeply cares about. The problem is that the obsession has blinded him to what's right in front of him. He's so focused on what the Dragon Warrior should look like that he completely misses what the Dragon Warrior actually is. And that's the tragedy of Shifu. He spent his whole life training warriors, but his obsession with perfection, it means that he nearly destroyed the greatest one before he even gets started. Mr. Ping is more similar to Shifu than I originally thought. After my rewatch, I noticed that they both treat their children in a way that supports their own obsession. Mr. Ping's big dream is for Po to inherit and run the family noodle shop. He's so obsessed with his dream that he makes Po feel like he can't tell him the truth. Multiple times throughout the movie, Po wants to say something, but knowing what his dad wants him to become, he changes his mind every time. Po clearly doesn't want this life, and it's obvious to everyone except Mr. Ping. There's no doubt that he loves Po, the same way Shifu loved Tai Lung, but love and obsession can exist at the exact same time, and sometimes one blinds you to the other. Shifu's feelings toward Tigress are more subtle, leaving us to question whether his discipline matched the quieter form of love. If you believe that Shifu loved Tigress, Drop a comment. I'm interested to see everyone's point of view. Now, the only character who doesn't fit into this obsession mindset is Po. The only obsession that he has is his love for Kung Fu. He grew up obsessed with the Furious Five, and you can tell that it's more than just an interest to him. But unlike every other character, his obsession isn't unhealthy. Tigress and Tai Lung are obsessed with the approval from others, which is exactly why they could never be the Dragon Warrior. Po doesn't care about validation. He's just happy to be in the environment that he's always dreamed of, and that's the difference. He doesn't try to gain his dad's approval either. It's quite the opposite. He lies to protect his dad, but not for validation. It's because he already knows who he is. He doesn't need anyone to confirm it. He's just trying to be caring towards his father because he loves him. He knows that he'll never be what his dad wants. But unlike every other character in this film, he doesn't believe something external will fix that. And eventually, he realises that hiding who he is doing more harm to himself than the truth ever would. What's fascinating is that Po is chosen at the exact moment he's trying to leave. He's not standing at the front trying to prove himself like everyone else. He's on the outside looking in, which has always been his position in life, and yet the universe picks him, not the trained warrior, but the one who genuinely loves it. That's the message the film was showing us. This brings us to the moment that ties everything together. When Po makes noodles for the Furious Five, he apologises and says that it's not as good as his dad's because he doesn't know the secret ingredient. But he actually did know, he just hadn't realised it yet. Because when Mr. Pink finally reveals the secret, it turns out to be nothing. The secret ingredient is literally nothing. And that's the mirror that the film has been building the entire time. The secret ingredient soup and the dragon scroll are the same metaphor told twice. Both are built up as containing something extraordinary, but both are revealed to just be empty. Because the answer, it was never in either of them. It was always in Po. He wasn't trying to gain validation, and he didn't want fame. He always wanted one thing, to belong to something that he genuinely loved and adored. And he does achieve it, and it's not through skills, not through status, but through character. It was always in him. Every character who obsessed over the scroll, over approval, over the perfect dragon warrior, they were all looking outward for something that could only come from within, and Po already knew where to look. Kung Fu Panda gave us some deep lessons about self-worth, chasing validation, and obsession, but the greatest lesson Kung Fu Panda teaches us is very simple. Stop searching for validation and start embracing who you already are. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe to Screenwire for more videos like this. And drop a comment if you want to see me cover the sequels. I'll see you all in the next one.